Well, here she is, the first look of AMAMIYA, of course. I mean, well, then again, we found out what she looked like yesterday, along with the update. But this is the next character. So I do want to kind of briefly talk about this character in specific, as she is going to be, in my eyes, a vital character to support an attribute that is, let's just say, is kind of in last place compared to all the attributes. It's in last place. Even, I mean, I'll give props to the developers with the recent buffs that they've made in trying, but yeah, it's fair to say that she's heavily going to be needed. So yeah, this still image looks absolutely beautiful. So that's Suhyun, if you guys don't know. This is from the Hunter archive, if you are playing it, of course. And if you do read out the story, then you'll be introduced with yeah, this banging ass image. So there you go. I'm not gonna lie, the whole kimono with the mask looking, with the katana looking badass. Now obviously we knew that she was a small like a sword type user due to the description that Alpha provided us a while back, of course, and so through that we know that there's going to be some form of DPS from this type of unit. And I believe, here she is, there you go, more of a clearer look. You can also see her without her mask, just an FYI, and I'll show you guys that in just a second, but I just kind of want to read this out quickly. Alright, so I believe this is the part of the story where you can see her without her mask. I'm pretty sure. Let me just double check. I think it's right here, right? It briefly comes on and then it just kind of disappears. So hold on a minute. Where is she? She should appear. There she is. She looks pretty. She looks very, very pretty. So just a few things. So tomorrow we are going to be getting, well, Alpha's going to be providing us with the skins, so I can't wait. So obviously, and we're also going to get an Hansemi skin too, which is weird. This is she's the September character, just an FYI. So yeah, well, I guess we'll get to see the September character ahead of time. This is an old this image of Hansemi is an image that was provided back when Solo Leveling Arise was still in development, so it'll be interesting to see where or how she's looking now. So, but anyway, so here she is, just a kind of brief little look of her model. So this will be the default skin that she's going to be wearing, and then it seems that the alternative skin that she'll have, it will be a summery type of vibe, it seems. So okay, fair play, fair play, fair play. I would have preferred more of a kimono type of style, you know. So I'm hoping. Oh wait, the secret library. So we could very well get that type of style. Fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, so when it comes to the character details, so the next character is of course AMAMIYA, type Wind Assassin. So confirmation that yes, Wind is going to be getting their first attributed character about goddamn time, and it's going to be an assassin type DPS character, which is going to be interesting because obviously we don't have, well, we haven't had an assassin type character, have we? I'll have to check the roster in just a second, but yeah, there's that. So swordsmanship, using the power of spirits, use the sword of Onikuruha to perform mysterious swordsmanship, will do anything to uphold her own sense of justice. And so she is now also, if you're lucky enough, appearing and will be showing on your lobby screen just as normal. That's what the mobile typically does now. So if you see her, fair play. At no point did I ever see Suhyun on my lobby screen. So yeah. So hopefully things change and I actually see AMAMIYA, of course. So that's the key thing that we know about her. She's a wind attribute and she's an assassin DPS type of character. She's going to be DPS. I mean, if you're an assassin class character, I assume she's going to be DPS but very spongy. So, or papery thin, one of the two. Either way, not spongy in a way that she's tanking, but paper thin, there you go, weak in terms of HP, right? Yeah, every time I think of an assassin class, I always think of like they're kind of easy to kind of knockout, but damage-wise, it might be high up there. What really did surprise me was the two assassin characters that we have are in the SR form of Hansongi and Kang. That's it. There's no other assassin. There's no SSR. This will be our first SSR assassin type character. And obviously from that, what I wanted to do is kind of go off and see what these characters are doing in specific. So the beauty about Kang is that before Beast had all his buffs and whatnot, Kang was kind of on par with the damage output, but clearly with an assassin type character, you know, it's just kind of like DPS damage. But the additional thing about the units are that they are working off from specific DOTs that they apply. So for instance, Wakaranki's offering bleed, and he kind of caters off that. He works from that, right? So looking at the dupes, attacks, increases attack when the target is inflicted by bleed, right? When tracking hit, a target inflicted with bleed applies damage taking increased effect, okay? So that's a 15% increase. And then when camouflage on the target is inflicted with bleed, damage increases by 100%. So everything that this man does works off from the bleed DOT, of course. And then if we head over to, of course, Han, she's kind of used in it's very similar fashion, because obviously with this DOT she's working off from poison, but the additional is that with these weapons that she throws out, it does kind of accumulate. So with the enemy being frozen and she's throwing out these weapons, as she retrieves them, so the damage of retrieved Umbrella weapons increased by 30% when Song uses the retrieve skill on poisoned targets. So whilst the enemy is poisoned and you pick up your weapons, yeah, it kind of equates to doing, well, those weapons do 30% more on poisoned enemies, of course. I mean, going through her dupes is kind of weird, where, you know, she creates shields, which I didn't really expect, but and then after that it just kind of helps her out more in retrieving more of the weapons, and then resetting the cooldown on the skills, so it's kind of more of a consistent manner, of course. But effectively, again, the key thing between the two assassins that we've seen is that they are working on and able to do more damage through the DOT skill that they have. So poison and bleed are the current two that we have so far. Now, with all that being said and done, the big question now, because as she is an assassin type character, I truly do believe that AMAMIYA will be coming in a way where she is also going to be working off from a specific DOT, and I also expect that the DOT will also effectively be applied on multiple skills, of course. So I think that the DOT play meta, as you could say, will be in full effect with the August update. That's my biggest takeaway from an assassin type character, especially with the only two assassin units that we have and with how they're working. Now the big question is what type of DOT could we expect? Because of course with bleed there was that whole problem where, you know, bosses and certain characters have bleed immune. Now they can't, I mean, they won't screw up the whole bleed, because obviously with Beast, if you guys can remember, I mean, now it's all been rectified and fixed, as you guys can see. Basically a part of Beast kit was completely voided because it worked off from the enemy being bled. But again, for bosses that were immune, it just really put this character in such a terrible position. But they fixed that by giving him another buff, so that way you can still effectively use his kit on said bosses that still have bleed immunity, of course. Because that's been kind of rectified and the developers are aware now, I'm sure AMAMIYA will come into place if they choose to go down that bleed route to, again, probably do something on what they did with Beast. But I don't think she's going to be doing bleed, although it kind of suits her, I'm just going to say, right? It could be a different type of DOT that we haven't seen, who knows? But the key route that we know that more than likely that they're going to be taking that unit is there's some sort of DOT going to be played within her kit, and that will then correlate with her passives, making it though that, as you guys can see, in similar to how Kang is working, where as the passives go on and on and on, A1 to A5, it's going to be doing way more damage, maybe again apply some sort of debuffs. And I think that is the new introduction on what the wind attribute will be getting to help them elevate a little bit. We could expect some crazy unit, because I mean, if they do this this unit right, and depending on what the DOT is, yeah, this could mark some DOT meta going on, and that could really be crazy. And then if we have other characters down the line can work off from the same DOT, unless Wind get their own DOT, that will be something crazy. And then the next Wind unit can kind of work off from AMAMIYA. Now that will be a beautiful setup, I will say that right now. So anyway, food for thought. One big reason why you need to save and prepare yourself, because an attribute that really needs help is going to get the help, and will honestly help out all accounts across the board, because let's be real, I need some wind types in characters, and I'm sure you guys too. So yeah, there's that.